Hello dear viewers, a very warm welcome to our channel. It's very good to have you here. In today's video, we are going to have a look at valve clearance. Valve clearance, why do we need valve clearance? Well, valve clearance is basically the gap between this rocker arm assembly, this is a rocker arm type, valve train arrangement. This gap, the gap between the tip of the rocker arm and the tip of the valve stem, that is called the valve clearance. Sometimes we call it the valve lash. Now, look at this. This is excessive valve clearance. Well, this is actually to be measured with a feeler gauge. Specification will be provided on your service manual. And then this is to be adjusted by that specification by using a feeler gauge or a spacemeter. Now, why do we need valve clearance in the first place? Look, this is a fully closed valve. This cylinder is at the end of compression stroke. So as you can see, both intake and exhaust valves are fully closed now. Now, as the engine is operating, this will start to expand due to the increased temperature. When temperature increases, metal parts, they tend to expand, and valve stems, due to their long nature, they tend to elongate. This elongation requires some space for the movement. If the valve clearance is zero, if there is no gap between the rocker arm tip and the valve stem, what will happen when the valve tends to elongate as a result of expansion? If the valve tip is prevented from going up, if it is prevented by the rocker arm and other valve train component from going up, what will happen? The valve will start to go down. That will compromise the sealing between the valve seat and the valve face. So that is why we require a valve clearance to allow proper expansion of the valve stem. So basically, that is why we require a valve clearance. Now, if the valve clearance is zero, if there is no valve clearance whatsoever, as engine tends to increase its temperature, we will have power loss because the valve sealing will be compromised. There will be loss of compression. That loss of compression will result in reduced engine power. And on the other hand, if the valve clearance is very much wide, look this for example, this is very wide valve clearance. If the valve clearance is very wide like this, that will cause noisy operation. Look, it will start to tap like this when engine is running. Assume engine is running in thousands of RPM and this tapping will continue, and you will hear this tapping. Listen. If you hear this type of tapping from the valve train, from the valve cover, that is an indication of excessive valve clearance. So excessive valve clearance will lead to noisy operation. The other problem with excessive valve clearance is when the valves open, they will open for only a very short period, and that can reduce the amount of air-fuel mixture admitted into the cylinder. So volumetric efficiency will be reduced. So if the volumetric efficiency or the intake duration is reduced as a result of excessive valve clearance, that will reduce engine power as well. So valve clearance has to be precisely adjusted. Now, if the valve clearance is extremely small, that can cause valve to compromise its seal when the valve is tending to overheat, when engine is tending to warm up and come to the operating temperature. If it is wide, however, that can cause poor volumetric efficiency, and that can lead to noisy operation. Reduced valve clearance or very small valve clearance can also affect valve cooling. You know, the valves, they need to transfer heat. Heat will be transferred from the valve to the valve seat and then to the cooling system. Now, if the valve remain open for long periods due to small valve clearance, that can lead to low heat transfer from the valve, and that can cause valve overheating. This is very critical, especially for the exhaust valve. Exhaust valve is exposed to extreme temperature from the combustion chamber side, and the exhaust gas that is moving out will also cause excessive temperature rise on the backside of the valve. Now, if it is closed for a very short period, that can lead to reduced heat conduction from the valve, and that can lead to overheated valve. Overheated valve can cause pre-ignition, valve melting. All that problems can happen if the valve clearance is very small. It's very crucial to adjust valve clearance once the cylinder head is removed. If you have removed the cylinder head, then it is very crucial that you adjust the valve clearance after installing the cylinder head. This is very crucial. And when adjusting, always make sure that the engine cylinder that you are going to adjust its valve clearance should be at the end of compression stroke at the TDC position. This, for example, this cylinder number 3 is now at the end of compression stroke on the TDC position. This will make sure that the camshaft is way away from the rocker arm assembly and that we can freely adjust the valve clearance. So always make sure that piston is at TDC at the end of compression stroke when adjusting valve clearance. On this type of rocker arm assembly type, we have a valve adjusting screw. There is a valve clearance adjusting screw. Right here we have the adjusting screw and the lock nut. You will simply loosen the lock nut, insert a filler gauge of proper dimension in here, and then loosen this screw or tighten it depending on whether the clearance is wide or not. If the clearance is wide, for example, you can simply loosen this lock nut and then screw in this screw. When you screw it in, it will elongate, it will go down. When it is going down, the rocker arm assembly, this end will be lifted up so that the rocker tip will go down. If the valve clearance is too small, however, you have to loosen this. Loosening this will bring this end of the rocker assembly down. When this is going down, rocker arm is pivoting on the rocker shaft, and that end will be lifted up. So this is how you adjust valve clearance. And after valve clearance is properly adjusted, make sure that you re-lock this. The lock screw has to be torqued, and once it is torqued, you have to recheck the valve clearance to make sure that it is properly adjusted. So this is how you can adjust. There are different methods of adjusting valve clearance. For example, one easy method is if you have even number of cylinders. One easy method of adjusting valve clearance is the valve overlap method. If there is a 4-cylinder engine of this kind, for example, you can bring cylinder number 4 to valve overlap and then adjust for cylinder number 1. Similarly, bring cylinder number 1 to valve overlap and you can adjust for cylinder number 4, pair cylinders. You can bring cylinder number 3 to valve overlap and adjust second cylinder. Bring second cylinder to valve overlap and adjust cylinder number 3. This is called the valve overlap method. The other method uses the firing order sequence. We call it the Z method. You can follow the firing order, and if cylinder number 1 is, for example, at the end of compression stroke, you can adjust valve clearance, both valve clearance of cylinder number 1, intake and exhaust, and then go ahead and find which cylinders are readily available for valve clearance adjustment. Obviously, cylinder number 4 will not be adjusted because it is at valve overlap, but one valve for the cylinder number 3 and one valve for cylinder number 2 can be adjusted, and rotated, bring cylinder number 4 to end of compression and adjust the remaining valves. You can adjust both valves of cylinder number 4 and remaining valve of cylinder number 3 and remaining valve of cylinder number 2. This is called the Z method. This is somehow complicated for beginners. The best method and easy method to go about it, it's a valve overlap method if you have even number of cylinders. So find the pair cylinders, bring a pair cylinder to valve overlap, and adjust both valve clearance of intake and exhaust of the other pair cylinder. If you want to figure out which cylinders are to be adjusted on a 4-cylinder with the Z method, you can simply prepare a table of this kind. This will tell you which cylinders are going to be adjusted. For example, let's say right here we have cylinder number 1, cylinder number 2 here, cylinder number 3, and cylinder number 4 right here. And based on the firing order, let's say we have power here for cylinder number 1. That will be followed by cylinder number 3. We have power right here. And that will be followed by cylinder number 4. We have 1, 3, 4, 2. And that will be followed by cylinder number 2. Now this gap is 180 degree apart. Let's say this is 0 degree. This one is 180 degree. This one is 360. This will be 540. And this will be 720 degree. Finally, we have a 4-stroke engine operating in such a fashion. Now the idea is when cylinder number 1 is on power stroke, how can we go about and which valves can be adjusted? That is what we are going to figure out. And when cylinder number 4 is on power stroke, which valves can be adjusted? Let's go ahead and fill it up, fill this chart. Cylinder number 1 is on power. Power will be followed by exhaust. That will be followed by intake. That will be followed by compression. Similarly, for cylinder number 2, power, followed by exhaust, followed by intake, followed by compression. For cylinder number 3, we have power right here. That will be followed by exhaust, followed by intake, and followed by compression. And for cylinder number 4, power is followed by exhaust. Right here we have the intake, and right here we have the compression. So this is how the cylinder is operating. Now, look, when cylinder number 1 is on power stroke, we can adjust both valves of cylinder number 1, intake and exhaust can be adjusted. For cylinder number 2, because we are on the exhaust stroke, right here on the exhaust stroke, we can adjust the intake valve. We are talking about 0 degree TDC. Right here, we can adjust intake for cylinder number 2. And when it comes to cylinder number 3, we can adjust exhaust. Exhaust is right here. Right here, intake is closing and compression is beginning, so we cannot adjust intake valve, but we can adjust exhaust valve. So for cylinder number 3, we can adjust the exhaust valve. For cylinder number 4, end of exhaust and beginning of intake is valve overlap, we cannot adjust. So on the first phase, for cylinder number 1, both valves are adjusted. For cylinder number 2, intake valve can be adjusted. For cylinder number 3, we have exhaust valve to be adjusted. And for cylinder number 4, we have no valve to be adjusted. And turn the crankshaft 360 degree and bring it to cylinder number 4. When you turn it to 360 degree, you can adjust both intake valve and exhaust valve for cylinder number 4. And you can adjust intake valve for cylinder number 3. Previously, we adjusted exhaust. Now we can adjust intake valve. And for cylinder number 2, because we are far away from exhaust, exhaust valve can be adjusted. For cylinder number 1, we are on overlap. No valve is to be adjusted. So this is how the valve clearance can be adjusted on the Z method. So for this 4-cylinder engine, bring cylinder number 1 at end of compression stroke 0 degree TDC, adjust both valves. And for cylinder number 2, you can adjust intake. For cylinder number 3, you can adjust exhaust. And for cylinder number 4, no valve is to be adjusted. That's it. So both valves are adjusted here. Here, one valve is adjusted. And then turn the crankshaft 360 degree. This will be on overlap. This will be at the end of compression, cylinder number 4. Both valves can be adjusted. For cylinder number 3 and for cylinder number 2, remaining valves can be adjusted. For cylinder number 2, exhaust valve is remaining, so we adjust the exhaust valve. And for cylinder number 3, we adjust the intake valve. So basically, this is how you can adjust valve clearance by using the Z method. But for beginner, the most accurate and easy to follow method is the valve overlap method. Bring cylinder number 1 to valve overlap, adjust cylinder number 4. Bring cylinder number 4 to valve overlap, adjust cylinder number 1. Bring cylinder number 2 valve overlap, cylinder number 3 can be adjusted. Similarly, bring cylinder number 3 to valve overlap, cylinder number 2 can be adjusted. This is a very simple, easy way to follow for a beginner. On some other types of cylinder arrangement, valve clearance will be adjusted by using adjusting shim. If you see right here, for example, there is an adjusting shim in here. You simply measure the valve clearance and then remove this shim by simply prying it out and picking it with a long nose plier. Remove that shim, measure the shim thickness, and then change it with the appropriate size shim. This is a method to go about for this type of arrangement. So these are adjusted by changing the shim thickness. Well, dear viewers, that is all we have for you in this video regarding valve clearance. If you find this video helpful and if you enjoy what has been presented, don't forget to smash the like button. If you are new to this channel, consider subscribing, turn on notifications so that you will be the first to get notified whenever we come up with another video. Until then, stay safe.